Microphone check 1 2. What is this?
Oh, damn. The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business?
Oh yeah, been bumping a lot of Tribe lately. I've been doing.
Have you really?
What's that album? We were both on the same wavelength recently.
Beat Rhymes in Life?
Beach Rhymes in Life. Yes.
Love that one, yeah. I was actually listening to it. We are brothers. I was listening to that
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. It's
Really liking that one.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
It is. I like that. That's right in the height of East Coast, West Coast. And they're saying, what does he say? I can never diss a whole coast. My time is too great.
It is interesting album, yeah, to consider with that time frame because
Yeah.
they were
Tupac and Biggie were going at it, New York and LA.
and Q-Tip was just like, we should all be cool. We should,
Right.
everybody should chill.
Like I can never think about it. I could never diss a whole coast. My time is too great. I mean, we have bigger things to do. What are we talking about?
He was, they were peace. They were all about the peace, the Ummah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Um,
Love
but yeah, so we're coming to you live. Or actually not live. We're recording this, but it is the week of. It's an important week. It's John's birth week.
It is.
And I say that because you never celebrate the day. You're a week guy.
And it's a week. It's not a month thing, but it is a week thing. Yeah, I like my dad. Love my birthday. I always have. Yeah. Growing up in Cincy, it was like my favorite time of year. Just weather-wise, fall in Ohio, football's back. It was always just a good weekend.
Bowling parties. Did you ever do the bowling?
Sure. I don't know if he did it for mine, but definitely went to some bowling birthday parties. Those were very exciting.
Oh yeah.
You didn't even have to like the person that much. Be like, yeah, I'll go bowling.
Yeah, I think I did one of those one time. Do you remember your favorite youth birthday party?
Youth birthday party. Man.
Yeah, I don't remember
That's
much.
Tough.
They're kind of all molded together. It was one. I remember Discovery Zone was like, all right, that's what's up.
Oh, sure. Yeah, leaps and bounds. What's up, dude?
Leaps and bounds.
Let's go. Yeah. Same thing. I do remember in 1994, everybody was just not regifting, but we were all giving the same. Everybody was giving everybody Dookie, Green Day. And CDs were huge, and it was just like those were the perfect gifts. So you're gifting somebody Dookie. Or what else is 94? Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
I remember
those 4 albums.
A girl I liked one time. We had the same birthday, actually. Me and a young girlfriend in those youthful days, and we went to TGI Fridays in Blue Ash.
Classy.
Right, the one by the mall, kind of a little down the way.
Kenwood, yeah. Right by First Watch.
Yeah, sure. And Mitchell's, where our mother used to get a haircut.
Oh, sure.
Or no, did Dad get haircuts there? That's what it was.
Everybody. Oh, yeah. Mitchell's.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
And then she gave me the Wu-Tang album. What was it? The one with gravel pits?
The W?
Yeah. Which, not their best work, but
exciting at the time.
And I was like, this chick, okay. She thinks because
that didn't work out. She got you early on.
It didn't. You know what? I was a little too passive at that point. Back then, you had to be mature enough to like either make a move or not make a move. We liked each other, but I didn't know what to do beyond that. I was like,
she liked you enough to get you the new Wu-Tang album. That's pretty huge.
I should have locked that one down. I should still be with that girl.
Check out my gravel pit. Yeah, that was a good one.
She was trying to tell me to check her gravel pits out, and I was.
You don't gravel sit on that.
Yeah, I gravel past, and I regret my actions.
Well, maybe she's still out there.
You know what? She probably.
Well, they say Wu-Tang is forever, so.
That's true. That was a nice gift. Yeah, and at that point, I was like I thought I was into hip hop, but I was definitely more into Nelly than Wu-Tang. I don't think I aged into Wu-Tang.
Oh God! As long as you got there, that's all that matters.
Yeah. But so you got your birthday.
I've had, I guess, childhood birthdays. No, I don't have many. Like you said, that kind of all melds into. But as I've gotten older and into throwing entire birthday weeks, I've had some pretty good birthdays.
I remember you used to be. Was it? you didn't like certain cake, so we always either ate cheesecake or carrot cake. I feel like it was
I
carrot
love
cake.
choose cheesecake. I love
It was
cheesecake.
cheesecake.
I don't think that I didn't I liked birthday cake,
It was
but
a
I
thing, though.
loved cheesecake. I
Yeah,
loved cheese.
it was.
Yeah.
It was definitely John's birthday, who was a cheesecake,
Birthday cake for everybody else, but
which is a
I
flex.
definitely had to have a
I mean, you were
cheesecake.
born in New
Yeah.
York. You were born in New York.
Hey, yeah, that's it. I would stay at 8 or 9. I know, give me back to those roots, Mom. Give me that New York style cheesecake. Is this
Yeah.
New York style?
You had a very mature palate at a young age.
Yes, I knew. Is this real strawberries?
You didn't want that yellow cake.
No, I still don't like the yellow cake. A chocolate birthday cake, I'm all over it. Let's go. But I'm not a fan of the yellow cake.
I agree. A good chocolate cake, soft.
Or an ice cream cake back in the day. Dairy Queen. Let's go.
If I had to make a choice, even to this age, I would. If I had to be something in cake form, it would be an ice cream cake. I think is the move.
Damn, okay. Yeah.
I'm a big ice cream guy.
Yeah. Ice cream's great.
Also, but I will say, cheesecake.
I love cheesecake.
Have you ever had cheesecake in New York City?
I don't think we did when I was there. I
So
mean, maybe when I was younger, but
we
not in the city, no.
we probably didn't that time we went. I was there one day, and I remember just thinking, I was like, oh, I've never had cheesecake, a New York style cheesecake in New York. I found a diner I was over on the, I guess it would be the east side, by the Met. It's some of the best cheesecake I ever had.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm being from New York. I can attest for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get it. But but yeah, your adult birthdays have been
pretty good stuff. I had a
pretty aggressive
surprise. My 30th was my one and only surprise birthday, which was great.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Great
You
birthday.
had somebody in your life that cared about you enough to create a surprise.
Yes, that was nice. But I do remember I'm easy to. Some people it would be hard to throw them a surprise birthday party because they would start asking some questions that things wouldn't be adding up. Well,
Yep.
I'm pretty much very good with the flow, and that one snuck directly up on me. I had zero clue.
You do not
Even
ask follow-up questions.
No, well, yeah, you trust your brother. So you said let's have a brother's drink. I was at dinner, and I was like, brother's drink? What are you talking about? Okay, what do you want to talk about?
You haven't passed up a drink in 15 years.
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm coming either way. But I was like, wait, what is this? And I opened the door, and we were Cashmere's, and you had two old fashions already ready, and then I could kind of see some people around the corner, and yeah, a bunch of people were there. That was a good surprise.
Now, to be fair, it wasn't I didn't set it up. You were with a girl at the time that was better at coordinating.
Oh yeah.
Because then
sure.
There was two other people that we got to come in town too. From like there was Fish Sticks and
oh yeah, San Diego vibes.
Who else was that? Was that Thomas that came in?
Andy came in town.
That's right. So that was a good one. Back when we were living on 70th Street. A lot of Tribe Called Quest at that house.
You had to. We had that doormat that said "Wipe your feet really good on the rhythm rug."
Yeah, that'd be an amazing doormat.
Yeah.
So that was good. We've gone to Dallas. We've gone to. We do trips a lot. Don't we do trips a lot? Always for your birthday? No, we did the Dallas thing. Was your ended up being your birthday for the Bengals Cowboys.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second there. What did you say?
I'm saying we do some trips sometimes too. The one time we went to Dallas for Bengals Cowboys, and
that was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was our father lived in Dallas at the time too, so it ended up working out. We got to, and his birthday is also 3 days after my birthday, so
10/13.
I do remember that from growing up. It was always like we would do a little bit of a joint thing, or like it. That was fun. Our birthdays were so close.
Yeah, and he was. So his birthday would have been the 13th. He would have been a clean 70. 77. Who would have been this year?
Yeah, 77.
Yeah. R.I.P. to one of the goats.
He always said his favorite birthday gift was taking me home.
And he used that line every year. It's good.
As he was falling asleep watching Roseanne, he's like, "I love you, bud."
Well, he said he had never had. So you were the second born, but you were his first boy, and the rumor has it there's a urban folklore that his first words when you were born were "What a set of nuts," because I guess when a baby's born, their nuts are a little inflated or something, or I don't know
No,
what.
they never went that.
Yeah, you just got just a big set of nuts, which is he was very proud of that, and I think that's an important thing to remember. But John's pausing over there.
I'm
But
sorry, man.
you,
I'm just saying nothing has changed. Still a great set of nuts.
yeah, it's great. But other than that, we'll do this weekend. So I'm actually again desert dwelling because you got your birthday and you're doing something. What do we do? What do we know what we're doing?
Yeah. Plan is you get in town tonight, right?
I'll be in
Well, probably
town.
not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna see each other. But Saturday we got we were out last weekend watching football with the crew, and we were
As you
kind of
do.
yes, and we were kind of hotel hopping. We were just going around the valley as we've done before. You'll just sometimes get a wild hair, and you're like, let's go check out some hotels in town. There's amazing hotels in Phoenix,
Some
and
of the best.
so we just went from hotel to hotel, and then we were like, we should do this next weekend. Just get a room somewhere and hang out by the pool at a hotel. So we got a executive suite up at a suite up at JW Marriott Desert Ridge.
Oh man.
You've been up there, right?
Oh yeah. Not.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever physically been in that
But you've been up
JW
in that
Marriott.
area.
But yeah, I go to
It,
the comedy clubs up there.
yeah, it's awesome. They have a lazy river. What are your thoughts on a lazy river?
I love a lazy river. I think it gets a
Yeah.
good base tan, and you're in
Yeah.
water, so it's nice.
And this one specifically is an adult one. One thing at the beach water park. So you can, as you're coming around, you keep lapping around to the bar, and you're looking at the guy like, "Hey, give me another one of those. Give me
What's
a
up?
Miami Vice." Yeah.
Are you doing Miami? But I don't do rum a lot, but when I do, it's a Mai Tai. I might do Mai Tais.
Sure. Yeah. Should be a long night if we're drinking Mike ties.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah. So that's the plan. Really, just hang out by the pool, and then we have options up there. So they're doing this Halloween themed thing at the Scottsdale Princess, which is only a few miles away from where we're staying. And we were thinking we could go over there and grab some food and drink for dinner. And they
that's
have
that's one thing Arizona loves. The whole month of October is Halloween
oh
in the
yeah.
state of Arizona.
Um and I do like puns, as you know, and their speakeasy over there is going to be called a spookeasy. So that was a selling point for me. I was like, well, let's get over to that spookeasy.
Where's that at?
That's at the Scottsdale Princess,
Oh,
Fairmont
that's
Princess.
amazing.
Up north, yeah. So they do the
Yeah,
Christmas thing every year, and now it's like a fall theme thing.
that'll be great. I love it. I'm bringing a mask everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun little weekend.
That's gonna be fun. That'll be good. We did, but one memory that just popped up on my Facebook thing is that we did. It was 4 years ago. It was one of our last trips to see Jim Turner, and it
Mm-hmm.
was Dallas played the Cincinnati Bengals football,
Oh yeah,
and that was probably the drunkest I was in that calendar year.
I think I had not seen on that level in a very long time. For the actual Sunday, Saturday, which was cool. You got to go to the Red River rivalry, Texas versus Oklahoma, with our father.
Which is actually how they test you if you're driving drunk in Texas. Say Red River rivalry
That's tough.
and see
Red River rivalry.
Red
Oh
River rivalry.
man. But and then yeah, this is so pre-COVID that football game is played inside of the Cotton Bowl, inside of the Texas State Fair.
Oh yeah,
It's just, I mean, the most people you've ever seen.
it's nice. It was a good
And that was
decision. I was flexing at that time. I think I had just closed a deal or something at that new job I had, and I went in there and tried to scalp some tickets for me and Dad, and I think I ended up paying face value, which if you think about it is, I mean, it was Texas Oklahoma, and it was 50-yard line, and they were both ranked.
You were right there, right? Yeah, you were like
I mean,
in there. 50-yard
It
line.
was nice because we actually were right by where the shade started. So it was
Perfect.
it wasn't super hot, but it wasn't, it was warm. And then, and yeah, you know who I got to get eyes on, who ran like 300 yards. I'd love to look the stats up that day. He ran all over the field, was Joe Mixon. And they ended up being the highest scoring Red River rivalry
Yeah.
in the history of the game.
It's like 58, 48 or 60s?
No, I think it was like 60. I think they put 60 up on them, and then Texas scored like 50 something.
That's wild.
And I knew then that Joe Mixon mattered to me. We got to help this guy recover.
We got to get this guy. We got to get this guy on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
but yeah,
was a cool
then the
memory.
next day we went to that Bengals game, and I remember I had a good friend of ours, Mark Riashi, bought me a Bengals
construction
hat.
Yeah.
And we went to the game, and we were kind of upper deck, and you guys flexed, and you were down in the lower bowl. But we were up there, and I think the Bengals scored or kicked the field goal to start the game, and then Dallas scored like 28 straight points. It was obvious that they were blowing us out.
I don't think we did kick a field goal even. I think we was
they were just kicking our ass.
I think it was the end up because I believe the final score was like 28-14, but we scored like 14 in the fourth quarter or something.
Yeah, but I just remember I had the construction hat on, and we were down 28-0 or whatever it was. And there were these dudes, these Cowboys fans, just like, "Would you build the stadium?" It was funny. They just kept yelling, "Yeah, good. What are you doing with the construction hat on? You built?" And then I can't take it off. I'm too prideful to take it off in front of them. But then I did come down at halftime and give it to you to wear.
Well, at halftime, you gave it to me. So then I'm wearing a construction hat, and I'm in because you were up there with the riffraff up in the 400 section, which is the real. Those are true fans, though. Like, right? Like,
sure.
No disrespect. Those are actually like that's probably a better way to experience the game.
Except when you're losing 28-0 with a Cowboy or Bengals construction hat on.
I was down there in the lower bowl, and we were losing so bad. That was also the game where I'm sure anybody that's an NFL fan at some point over the last 4 or 5 years, there was one game where you watched the Cowboys and you're like, Ezekiel Elliott is a good football player. And that was the game I remember like being really blown away. He ran all over us. I think he ran for like 150 yards or something. But
he's a beast when he wants to play.
Yeah, he was amazing. And I think it was his rookie year, and we were like, oh, shit, this dude's a problem. And so I was down there with more of the elite because I was Mikey Deep Pockets that weekend. And we were losing so bad that at halftime or like in the second quarter or whatever, we went to get drinks, and I decided to move to Jackie Splashies, if you remember, and
Jesus.
which are obviously we know Jack and Coke, but a splash of Coke. Jackie Splashy. Just a splash.
And to ask for the splashes. It's one of the funniest things. I've been bartending a long time. A guy that looks at you and says, just make it a splash. Just a little bit.
Can I get a Jackie Splashy?
Just for color. Yeah.
And can you just brown it up a little bit? And so I remember being in line, and I had a Vontaze Burfict jersey, and I looked like an idiot at that point. We're down 20-0. And the Cowboys fans, to their credit, there was a dude that felt so bad because I'm also like a pretty good drunk usually. I'm fun. I'm not trying to start.
Yeah, you're having a good time. Yeah.
And he was like, I'll get you just, you're losing so bad. I'll get you this round. And I got 2 Jackie Splashies for free. But he gifted them that. And then we go back to the seats and we're drinking. It was aggressive, but that's why I got so drunk that day. Because the Bengals lost. And then
we came in
2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, and then I think we all met up back in uptown area of Dallas, and I remember you showed up, and yeah, the best thing about you when you do get that drunk is some people get angry, some people get some people go dark, and you just couldn't stop laughing. You were just at nonsense. What things you weren't laughing at weren't funny. You couldn't even get them out. You were laughing so hard.
Oh, I think I was telling Mark Riashi, our friend, that I was going to shadow him at work the next day.
That's right.
So
let me follow you.
What time's work start? I'm shadowing you all day. I want the ins and outs. and he worked at like a pretty
7 in the
high-end
morning. Yeah.
American Airlines job at that point. And we were at Uptown Pub or something, just drinking. And then, but I remember you guys had left the stadium, and you caught an Uber and you left without us. And I remember me and my buddy Mikey were stranded at the stadium, and we ended up doing a full lap around. I met a dude from Avondale. He was cool. He ended up coming to a show of mine a couple months later in Cincinnati. And then I continue walking around the stadium, and we run into Mikey's cousin, Pugsley, and like two other guys. It was so random. Like we
That's
ended up
crazy.
running into people we knew in Dallas that were not as drunk as us, but not far off. And the thing about that stadium is it's kind of in the middle of like, there's not like a bar scene around it, right? If you're at the stadium, you're drinking at the stadium.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But yeah, I ended up finding a way back eventually, and that was as drunk as
Uptown Pub you up.
Yeah. And yeah,
That was
Bruno
fun
Mars had just come out with that classic hit. So we were
Uptown Funk you up. So everybody was screaming, Uptown Pub you up. The name of the pub was Uptown Pub. That was a very funny evening. And I think there was and then someone, we're reminiscing a lot, but it's very funny. There was if you remember, there was a magician or a guy doing card tricks at Uptown Pub. And I mean, we were just peppering him with so many questions. Just didn't believe. And he was good. He got it. First of all, I don't know if he was good because we were so drunk. But, I mean, we were just screaming at this magician or card guy.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Oh, man. It was a good trip. So, yeah, we've had some good B-Day trips. So this will be a good weekend, even if it's COVID up. We'll have a good, safe, fun weekend.
Yes.
And other than that, you know what else happened this week? Obviously, R.I.P. to Edward Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen, man. Speaking about magicians, that guy was a magician.
We'll talk about a name. If you told, would you think he could be like in accounting or something? Like that's not a Eddie Van Halen.
No.
What do you do, man? I'm a
born
janitor.
born to be who he was.
That's a crazy name. So he obviously would you say so? He's probably not the greatest technical guitarist of all time. I think that's probably like, wouldn't you go like Hendrix or like something like that?
I don't know. He's up there. It's hard to.
He's in the convo, right? Like he's
big
probably
time in
like,
the convo.
He's
Top
definitely
three.
He's definitely of that generation, like the greatest guitarist of all time, and that's a pretty big guitar generation. The late 70s into the like all the way to like 90.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He's in there. No one was. I mean, his technique alone. He would have sometimes turn his back to the crowd because he didn't want people to see how he was playing, technique-wise. And he not invented, but perfected the tapping technique. If you've ever seen him do like
up the
right, but he's tapping the guitar. He's not strumming it. He's tapping it while he's also fingering on the fretboard. It's insane. It sounds nuts.
I've done that before. Tapped while fingering.
On the fretboard?
Actually, I call that the Turner Twister.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, man. I mean, he's up there with. I don't think. I mean, Hendrix. You could obviously argue that Clapton, but like, dude, Eddie Van Halen. Like, no one played like him. Definitely in the conversation, if not maybe the best. Nobody played like him. Hendrix and Clapton played kind of similarly in that bluesy type of way, but dude, Eddie Van Halen was insane.
Yeah, and
so cool too. The coolest dude.
Yeah,
ripping cigs doesn't age well when you die from throat cancer. But
is that what it was? Throat cancer? Oh, we've lost John already. right when he goes into throat cancer death, we've lost John. I did not know that he died of throat cancer, though. I do know that he used to drink. So this is what I know about his approach towards making songs. He would go into the hotel room after a show, put a tape recorder down, drink vodka all night, and do cocaine, and then he would listen to whatever he recorded last night, and he would come out with like He'd come out with Panama. Like,
this is Eddie. Eddie would do that.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I just didn't write a song. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, dude. His brother too. His older brother Alex,
He was
the
the
drummer.
drummer, right? Yeah.
He apparently, I was reading something yesterday. Drinking wise, these guys were just apparently, obviously, but they were killing their bodies. But like
Yeah.
Hager would say, Sammy Hager would say, I've seen him, or I would watch him for years playing and watch him drink like I've never seen anybody drink, but it never affected his playing. Like it'd be like no one can play like that sober.
Yeah.
And he would be, they were just built differently, I guess. They're Dutch, so maybe that's a European thing. But Alex Van Halen, the drummer, would apparently wake up, drink a bottle of vodka in the morning, pass out for the whole afternoon. They'd wake him up at like 6, and he'd come out of his stupor and then just go on stage an
Just
hour and
go
a half
right.
later and just go kill it. Yeah, they were just like, these guys are just insane.
Well, they were. So I was doing like some surface level research, and I'll be honest. So I would say my fanhood of that era of rock and roll is not as passionate. Like I like the 60s and the 70s, early 70s and stuff like that. But then once you get to that 80s hair metal, like I just never like dove in that much. But I wanted to, obviously you do what you do when people pass away, which is unfortunate, is revisit what they did and stuff. I should have obviously embraced him while he was here. But I went back and listened to Van Halen 1, or
Oh
I guess
God,
it's just called Van Halen, right?
there might not be that's like a greatest hits. There's
That,
like literally nothing but hits.
and it rips for like 35 minutes. It's you're done in 35, and it just
Oh yeah.
ran right through you. And then I was doing some research, though. I saw that they also were very ahead of the curve on like their. They created the writer. I didn't know that they created. So I know what the writer is only through comedy. So if I'm a comedian and I'm headlining, I would tell a club what I want in my green room,
Mm-hmm.
and so they like kind of transformed what the writer was and their needs and stuff like that. And what they would do is the famous thing they would do is they would ask for a bowl of M&Ms, and then they would ask for all the brown M&Ms to be separated from the M&Ms. But they did that because what they know, if you did that, if they went into the green room and you separated the brown M&Ms, they know that you read everything and that technically they're safe, because they had some stuff happen where they had a couple of roadies almost get electrocuted and shit like
Oof.
that. So they had all these specific things that they wanted you to do, but they know if you got all the way to the brown M&Ms and you separated it, it was like a qualifier. So it's interesting. They had some good ideas.
Definitely had some good ideas. They wrote some crazy songs too. I wouldn't really put them as a hair metal. I think they were separate in their
I
own
agree.
in their own world. They like, because that first album is so straightforward rock album, and
Sure.
then as they got into the 80s, like 1984 is probably the biggest album, and then they have a crazy and then their lead singer David Lee Roth leaves the band.
Right.
Well, there's dispute on if he was fired or if he left or if he quit, but at the peak of their powers, I mean literally 1984 was gigantic. Panama, Jump, all those songs, and he leaves and they bring in Hagar at the peak of
Great.
everything. It's I don't know, it's a nuts story. You don't see that often.
And then they went on to release like 4 more of their most successful albums. Hagar was actually attached to their most successful stuff. So before that, they were more like good, great, but like the next 4 albums.
Money wise, yes. Money wise and
money-wise.
record sales, they were more successful. I don't think they're better. I don't know. I like the Hagar era. I think they were better with David Lee Roth.
Right.
Think about that ego.
But think about transitioning from that. Think about not missing a step, though.
Like, yeah.
Just being that's how good Eddie Van Halen was, right? That the guitar
Absolutely.
player was the key. If you split up, usually the band is going to probably be hindered if the front man leaves, right? It's
right.
almost like you only see that so many times. You probably have. When have you ever seen it other than maybe Genesis is a good example of when it worked before, when Peter Gabriel left and then Phil Collins was like, what's good, dude?
Right. Phil was in the band though. And it was like, it could have been, it was crazy that it's this other like rock star Hagar on his own. And they're like, we're just going to inject him in.
Yeah.
And it worked. Oh, it's nuts. What's his name? I mean, the Police, same thing at their heights. Sting left.
But did the Police continue to do
I don't know.
well.
No, I don't think so. No, I
Yeah.
think that was at the end of the Police.
And then can't forget the Commodores. Lionel was like, you know what? I think I've outgrown this. I think.
Well, Eddie with I just watched something last night where Eddie with 1984. After the album before 1984, he wanted all the synths out, all the on Jump like dun, dun, dun,
Right.
dun, and
Which
David Lee
did
Roth
he
did
do
not
that?
want that.
Did
Yeah,
he play
they're
those?
classic. Him and his brother are classically trained pianists.
Okay. That's
Um,
amazing.
Yeah, so he would play the on the record. Obviously, he had the guitar in his hands on stage,
Right.
but he would. So he had the idea for that, and the group's producer at the time was like, "Absolutely not. That's not going to work." And so they built this separate studio called 5150, which ended up being
That's
the name of the album for Hagar's first album after David Lee Roth left. But they made this separate studio and went over there and made the tracks Panama and Jump and all those things. And everybody in the band was saying, this is not it. Like, we need to be more rock. We need to be more of this. And turned out to be their absolute smash album. But still, a lot of Van Halen fans didn't like Van Halen after they went synth and all that.
a little bit more of a global reach, right? They're probably a little
Sure,
bit more
popping.
poppy.
I mean, now they're the most popular band in the world. Yeah.
I mean, they probably heard what Huey Lewis and the News were doing, and they said, let's get in on that. Or vice versa. Maybe Huey was probably influenced by them, but it seemed like a very influential group. And I don't say you're right because they're not hair metal, but you'd probably
in that time.
But
they
influenced. If you took a picture of them and you showed somebody, that you'd be like, oh, that's hair metal. But they influenced all that other stuff, though. Like that's what everybody was trying to duplicate, was what Eddie Van Halen was doing, and they just did it in a way that was a little bit probably cheesier and less. They probably just did it more theatrical too.
I mean, what's his name's jumping around on stage like a maniac. They're all doing cartwheels and flips, and it's crazy.
You had some good bands, like Thin Lizzy. That's a decent band from there that was probably in the same vein.
That's more like 70s, yeah. But that back in their Van Halen's beginning, they were definitely very, very similar.
Yeah, but yeah, it was very enjoyable. I literally.
Do you have a favorite Van Halen song or something you heard in the past few days that you were like, oh damn?
You know what, Van Halen is crazy because like if you played me like their top 10 songs, I probably more times than not I'd be like, damn, that's Van Halen too, and then you're like, oh shit, that's Van Halen. Hits. Oh fuck, that's Van Halen. Like I didn't even realize they did. Let me look at the album real quick, but.
I heard a guy say in an interview yesterday, he's like, if 50 years from now, aliens come down and they get to, and there's never going to be an argument that they were bad. Someone's going to be like, no, I think we got it wrong on Van Halen. It's like, no, these guys were fucking great.
Dude, I didn't know they did. You Really Got Me. For some reason, I had no idea that was Van Halen.
Oh, that's a cover, but yes. It's,
okay.
They covered, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was like, there's no way this is them.
They did a lot of covers. They covered Pretty Woman. They covered, but really great covers. Like Van Halen made it their own for sure.
Yeah. And then I like. I was really just impressed with that. That whole album really kind of blew me away. I was like,
and do you remember
this is 10 tracks of just heat.
Do you remember? I like the Van Hagar song, Right Now. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember. So that
remember the video?
That's my memory of Van Halen, as unfortunate as it is, because I was I was born in '86, right? So it's like I didn't know, because that was probably like Hagar was like 86 he came on, and then he was there through 96. That's the Van Halen stuff I remember, because at that point I just remember David Lee Roth being kind of a crazy dude, and he had that video in the sand or whatever.
California Girls.
Yeah, so like I remember that, and but I do remember the song Jump was probably the one that is
huge.
And then Panama, like honestly, I don't know if I would have known that they did Panama. I just think it was just an 80s ripper.
That's
so
Van
like
Halen.
It's just one of those. That's an era of music that I just have a hard time identifying exactly who it is. But if you gave me like 2 or 3 guesses, I would be like Van Halen. You know, but yeah. So that's on me. But that is just I don't know that.
I know that's not my favorite era either.
Yeah.
But there's some really good stuff in there.
Sure.
And I have Like that Ozzy Osbourne 80s stuff is really good.
I do like that.
There's some really good rock in the 80s for sure.
I've
Yeah, the hair metal, I was never like a Poison guy or Warrant. Those are like
Rat.
strip
Now
club
Rat
songs.
speaks to me.
Yeah, right.
But
No, that was never my thing. Actually, Poison's got some hits. Some good
but
songs.
again, yeah, Poison's got some hits. Like there's like songs that I know really well, but it's just like
Well, that's why we are definitely, yes, of the age 10 years old when Smells Like Teen Spirit comes out, and then it's just like, what is this? Because that's what we were used to. We grew up on those videos, and then all of a sudden, like, no, this is my shit. This is my generation.
But
I
then
like this.
also my 80s, when I go back to the 80s, I actually think that I choose Genesis and like your Peter Gabriel, Steve Winwood.
Oh yeah.
I mean, give me Mike and the Mechanics if you can.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but Hall and Oates, like those, that pop era of the 80s was so good. Or you know, Solo Henley, right?
Yeah. Let's
Like
go.
I love that shit.
New York Minute.
So all that stuff's a little softer, obviously, but I mean, if you revisit that, there's amazing songwriting going on in the 80s, and I think actually hair metal is probably the least respectable of that era. But
Sure.
Van Halen, when you go back and listen, you're like, oh, this wasn't hair metal. This was fucking rock and roll.
Yes.
And this dude was ripping.
Absolutely. Rest in peace.
Yeah, so it was cool. And one of the cooler things he did that I'm sure, I feel like a good amount of people know this, but he did the guitar solo on Beat It.
Yeah.
And
To cross that, what a G. What a fucking moment.
Quincy hit him up and he was like, could you do it? And he did it. And that's also how crazy he is as a person. He just did it and he didn't get paid or anything. And he was like, yeah, I'll just come through, do it. And he did a couple variations of it, kind of, because him and Quincy had to get on the same level. And I think he changed the key, I guess, to get it to where he wanted it to be, and didn't ask for any money or anything. And that is like, that's something that you get. I mean, because he was on that, there's probably a whole white audience that tapped into Michael Jackson just because
and vice versa.
Halen. And yeah, and then so just an iconic.
Very cool. Yeah. And there was also, I think we learned a lot about Van Halen through pop-up video. They were always on on that VH1 show, I think.
True.
I was like, oh damn, these guys are nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, so RIP. That was he'd been sick for a while.
Yeah, for a few years.
Yeah, and then I thought there was like a weird. I thought people thought he passed away like earlier last year or something like that. But
I don't know. I don't remember.
You know how the internet is. But
I do.
But either way, yeah, RIP to Eddie, and he's influenced, like, that's a dude where if you're a guitar player, like we like John Mayer, he's probably like,
yeah,
to him,
he's upset.
Yeah.
but
like,
yeah,
like
there's been some cool,
has influenced everything after him.
Oh, big time. Yeah. There's been some cool tributes, some cool stories, which is, yeah, when people pass away, you get to hear these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been some awesome stories to read about. He seems like a really good dude.
Yeah. And an interesting dude.
Yeah.
But beyond that, yeah, we RIP to Eddie. We'll probably be ripping cigs and drinking vodka all weekend in a hotel room.
Get the guitar out, yeah.
Get the
we
guitar.
got I got to learn an Eddie Van Halen song for my birthday.
Another fun.
Not easy.
No, not easy. Another fun thing that'll be happening if anybody's watching my social media. I'll be posting some Tiger pics. It's Baltimore week.
Oh yeah, Bengals
is spicy this week. These guys are
a little angry.
Responding.
That's great.
It's some funny stuff. And
the Bengals got their first win last week.
Bengals got their first win under the Joe Burrow era. Also, Cincinnati. I'm still repping the Reds. I respect our city. I'll put this on too. Look at that. The double whammy if anybody's watching.
But yeah,
Reds
Bengals got their first W. Felt good.
Looked good.
Looked good. Joey Burrow was dropping dimes. Mixon looked good. Everything looked good. It feels good to win. And that was Joe Burrow's tweet after the game. It's as simple as that. It just does. Feels good to win.
Winning feels good.
Especially when it doesn't happen that often. But yeah, Joe looks real deal. He looks really, really good.
T. Higgins looks great.
Love that. 9 to 85.
Tyler Boyd looks great. Everything looked good. Also, the Jags didn't look great, so that's fair to say.
Sure.
But
I'll
because
take it.
we'll take a win, and then now we got to play the Ravens. But the positive I will take, we're 1-2-1, which is like, all right, so that sucks. But if Joe was a little bit more, this is a guy that had no OTAs, no preseason games. So these are his first 4 games. So technically, these were his 4 preseason games that other seasons you would have had. Maybe if he had those more reps, we would have had a couple more plays, and we wouldn't lose. We could be 2-2, or even as crazy as it is. I
We're
mean,
not out of it.
We could have been 3-1. Like the Eagles game, you make a couple plays, and then the Chargers game, we literally caught a touchdown. AJ Green caught a winning touchdown in the Chargers game. So there's some stuff that could happen. And also, he's covering every time, big dog. He is covering these points, Joe Burrow. So shout out to that.
Yeah, man. They look good. We can play with Baltimore. We'll see how it goes.
I just feel
I ain't scared.
Defense,
they're tough, yeah, but I'm trying to be positive here. We're going to go in there and stick it to them.
I also am texting Calais Campbell Tiger pictures, so I think that's important.
Nice.
So I think he'll be kind of shaken.
Yeah, I'm sure you're on his radar.
So I think he's texted me back, who is this? And I think
he's in the locker room. Yeah,
he's disturbed. So
yeah, sure.
I think that'll hinder his physical abilities on Sunday, but we'll see. So we'll be hanging this weekend, celebrating the birthday. So
yeah, looking forward, brother. Gonna have a good time.
We'll have some fun. Everybody out there have some fun in John's honor. Drink. What do you want them to drink in your honor? Jackie Splashy?
Oh God. No, have an old fashioned.
Have an old fashioned. To make yourself a Miami Vice.
Yeah, try that. That'll take some time.
And rock out to some Van Halen. I know we will be. So.
Big time.
All right. We'll talk soon. Peace up.
All right. Peace up. A-time down.
God bless.